The cries of 16,000 customers of defunct gold dealership Menzgold could soon be answered as the Attorney General files a total of 39 charges against Nana Appiah Mensah, also known as Nam1, and 2 others. Arrested 5 years ago and over 36 adjournments at the Circuit Court, the fresh charges automatically render the pending criminal case at the lower court against the first accused person, Nana Appiah Mensah, moot. The new charges include selling gold contrary to the Minerals and Mining Act, operating a deposit-taking business without a license, defrauding by false pretense, money laundering, and others. Lawyer for the aggrieved customers, Amanda Clinton, says her clients are only interested in justice and the recovery of their funds.
Attorney General Dame has recently announced that he's going to be moving the case from the Circuit Court, where they filed that essentially the case has voluntarily been ended, and then he simultaneously filed at the High Court. In terms of what he's filed, it's pretty much the same charges in terms of, it's the same charges he was previously charged with, but less. In terms of 61 counts have now become 39 counts. And it's the more serious charges. So I would imagine that they've done this so that they could make those charges stick. You know, instead of going after 61 counts, you stick with the ones that you can really get a hold of in terms of you can hold him account to, which includes defrauding by false pretenses, 25 counts, 7 counts of fraudulent breach of trust, and 7 counts of money laundering. So quite importantly, in terms of bail conditions, this is going to have to be revisited because essentially the case has died a natural death in the Circuit Court and it's been moved to the High Court. In so doing, the new judge at the High Court is going to be considering new things because it's a fresh matter before her. And it has been moved to the High Court. Ordinarily, you see cases moved to the High Court because of the complexity of the case, because of the potential for securing a more severe conviction, and for the need for a higher level of expertise.
She's also questioning why the Attorney General did not include the wife and sister of Nana Appiah Mensah in the fresh charges.
What's interesting is I noticed that Ghana Web has said that they've had sight of the charge, the new charge sheet, which I haven't had sight of it yet. But you know, it will also be interesting to see if the other accomplices are on that charge sheet. Or have a similar charge sheet with it, and that includes his sister Benedicta Appiah and his wife Rose Tete, which both are at large at present, and you know, they were similarly charged with him, although far less charges. So it is encouraging from the Attorney General's Department, particularly because the concern was that Mr. Mensah had been emboldened due to the delay in the prosecution. You know, 5 years later, 36 adjournments, and, you know, the people were like, you know, is he being so bold? Because they really aren't prosecuting him. And so, you know, the media doing their job, the people, you know, the investors being in uproar, has hopefully led to the government revisiting this.
A private legal practitioner, Martin Kpebu, is also questioning government's commitment to the matter.
Very critical of this prosecution. We want results. We want results. We've been too tardy. The Attorney General hasn't shown enough commitment to this case compared to the adequacy. I mean, that's it. So for me, the adequacy is the yardstick. Anything that's short of the energy and the vigor with which he's interested in the adequacy, means that this case is not really committed. Yeah, this one, how many years? Can you imagine? The time we brought Nam1 back from Dubai, was that in 2020 or so? Yeah. And then 36 adjournments. Then we are still adjourning. The money laundering thing, assuming in the Circuit Court, if you have been convicted, like I made the point before, of the other charges, and then money laundering left, well, that's nothing. Because a lot of the offenses, what happens, could you, even though you send 39 charges, most of the time, once he's been convicted, when it comes to sentencing, you hear that the sentences are to be served concurrently.
Right.
So count one, assuming count one has a minimum of 15 years. Okay. Right. So if you have 39 charges and even you win 15, my brother, it's not bad, because the main thing is that at least justice would have been served. He will serve some. So it's not the number of charges that impresses me, but it's the speed with which the prosecution is being handled. And also we should have more clarity, more information on the exhibit account, the assets that were seized from him, and some of them auctioned. Can we get more information? Because that's really where the need is. Because I'm looking at it that for most of these customers, it's their money they want back. I don't think they care so much about imprisonment.
Well, the case is currently in the High Court, and we'll be bringing you updates on that later in subsequent bulletins. Reacting to the latest development on X Spaces, Nana Appiah-Mensah says he looks forward to this day in court, insisting lack of understanding of his business model could be blamed for the perception that he set out to scam his customers.
In a court, because the state prosecution is doing a very good job. They want to. I see fair play. Because everything that I know, that based on what the rights that as affirmed and as conferred by the laws of the Republic, I don't think any of my rights have been trampled upon. I think they are putting Article 19E, they're applying it into its fullest, as in the presumption of innocence. Once I'm subject to the state. So even if I'm going to go 1,000 times, that's fine, because I'm subject to the state, and whatever the state so decides, of course, in line with rule of law, I would subject myself anytime, any day. So yeah, the issue about being called a fraudster and what have you, it borders on perspective. So granted, the Menzgold business model, a lot of people didn't have proper understanding because it's technical. Okay, it's very technical. So when I say to you that, okay, so you buy gold is measured, it's measured in grams, ounces, kilograms, and then what have you. So it's technical, right? So a lot of people don't even get it. They don't even understand. And